The first time I saw her, she was bleeding under the violet sky of a dying moon. Our shuttle had crash-landed on Ishra, a world I didn't even know existed until the stars shredded my transport apart. The mission was supposed to be simple: chart an unmapped quadrant and return with data. But fate, or perhaps something stranger, had other plans. My name is Eli Carter, Terran explorer, last survivor of Survey Ship Odyssey. When I crawled from the wreckage, half my suit torn and lungs burning from Ishra's thin air, I didn't expect to find anyone alive, let alone her. She was unlike any alien I'd ever seen. Her skin shimmered like silver under the twin suns, veins glowing faintly with an iridescent pulse. Her body bore deep gashes from a plasma weapon, and her breathing came in short, ragged gasps. She looked fragile, but her eyes, sharp, golden, and wild, fixed on me like a predator assessing prey. When I approached, she hissed. Literally hissed like a serpent. "Stay back, human," she rasped, her voice melodic despite the pain. "I'm not your enemy," I said, raising both hands. "You're hurt. I can help." For a moment, she just stared, her eyes flickering with something: fear? Disbelief? Then, with a shudder, she collapsed into the sand. Instinct took over. I dragged her back to the remains of my shuttle, sealed the cracks with emergency gel, and used my medkit to patch her wounds. Hours passed before she woke. "You saved me," she whispered. Her words carried an unfamiliar accent, almost ancient. "I couldn't just let you die," I replied. Her golden eyes studied me, as if measuring the weight of my words. "No human has ever said that to one of us." That's how I learned her name: Kilira, heir to the House of Tshara, one of the ruling clans of Ishra. She wasn't just anyone. She was royalty. And I had just saved the alien equivalent of a princess. Middle, between two worlds. Kilira healed quickly, faster than any human could. Within days, she was walking, her silvery armor reactivating in fragments as nanotech repaired it. I scavenged what I could from the wreckage, but my distress beacon was fried. We were stranded, and the storm clouds above made any hope of orbital rescue impossible. We were two beings from different worlds, bound by circumstance, and slowly something else. At night, we spoke under the light of Ishra's twin moons. She told me about her people, the Vreth, an ancient species that once ruled the nearby systems but had since fractured into warring clans. Her mother, the Empress of Tshara, ruled one of the last bastions of peace, but rebellion brewed in the outer colonies. Kilira had been ambushed while traveling to negotiate with rival factions. "You humans," she said one night, her voice soft as she watched the fire flicker between us. "You fight for territory, resources, ideology. We fight for survival. Our bloodlines are fading. Our children fewer with every generation." I listened, fascinated. "Then why attack each other?" "Because power," she said bitterly, "is a sickness of every intelligent species." Over the next few days, she taught me about Ishra's customs, their sacred rites, their strange gestures of gratitude and honor. I learned that saving another's life in her culture wasn't just an act of kindness. It created a bond of obligation. The saved owed their savior an eternal debt. At the time, I thought little of it. I didn't realize what that meant for her, or me. One evening, as the horizon shimmered with crimson storms, Kilira stood before me, her armor fully restored. "My people are near," she said, her gaze distant. "I can sense the pulse of the hive network." "That's good news," I said, smiling. "They can get you home." But she didn't smile back. "Eli, when they find us, things will change." "What do you mean?" She hesitated, stepping closer. "Among my people, when one of royal blood is saved, It binds the Savior to them. It's a sacred vow of protection, of unity. I frowned. Unity. Her golden eyes met mine. You saved my life. By Ishran law, you are now my chosen, my bondmate. I laughed nervously, thinking she was joking. Wait, you're saying I'm married to an alien princess because I gave you first aid? Kilira's expression didn't waver. Not married. Bonded. The distinction matters little. To break the bond is to bring dishonor and death upon us both. My blood ran cold. You're serious? I am. Before I could respond, a roar split the sky, ships descending, sleek and metallic, their engines singing in harmonic tones. Kilira turned toward them, straightening her armor with regal grace. My people are here, she said. Prepare yourself, Eli Carter of Earth. They will not understand a bond such as ours easily. Middle Part 2, The Court of the Vreth. The Vreth capital was breathtaking, floating citadels suspended by gravitational fields, their towers shimmering like glass spun from light. Everywhere I looked, alien eyes followed me, some curious, others hostile. Kilira led me through grand halls carved from crystal, her posture proud, chin lifted. When we entered the throne chamber, I nearly forgot to breathe. At the center sat the Empress, Kilira's mother, tall, radiant, her features sharp yet sorrowful. The air trembled with her presence. My daughter returns, the Empress said, her voice echoing like music. And not alone. Kilira knelt. Mother, this is Eli Carter, the human who saved my life. The Empress's gaze turned to me, piercing and ancient. A human, she murmured. Few have walked these halls. Fewer still have lived to tell of it. Kilira continued. He is my bondmate, by the law of Ishra. The chamber erupted in whispers. I caught fragments. Blasphemy, outsider, impurity. The Empress rose slowly, her gaze weighing me like a scale. My daughter, do you understand what you claim? A bond unites not just two souls, but two destinies. You would tie our bloodline to his. I owe him my life, Kilira said firmly. He is part of me now. The Empress studied me for a long moment, then spoke. Then he must face the trial of kingship. Kilira's eyes widened. Mother, no. He doesn't know our ways. Then he will learn, the Empress replied. If he would stand beside you, he must prove himself before the Vreth. I swallowed hard. What kind of trial? The Empress's golden eyes flickered. A test of spirit, courage, and understanding. Fail, and your bond and your life ends. Middle, Part 3, The Trial of Kingship. The trial took place in the Arena of Echoes, an ancient site beneath the capital. The crowd gathered, thousands of luminous beings chanting softly, their voices forming an eerie harmony. I stood at the center, wearing a ceremonial armor Kilira had helped me don. Across from me, a figure emerged, not a person, but a projection, shaped from pure energy. The trial tests not strength, but truth, Kilira whispered from the sidelines. The Empress's voice boomed. Eli Carter of Earth, face your reflection and reveal the measure of your soul. The being of light moved forward. It was me. Every fear, every failure, every regret, reflected in that glowing mirror image. The trial wasn't about combat. It was about confrontation. You left your crew, the apparition said, voice filled with venom. I didn't. They were gone before I. You survived when others didn't. Do you deserve to live? Each word struck deeper than any weapon. My knees trembled, but I forced myself to stand tall. Yes, I said, my voice breaking. I deserve to live, because I can still make it matter. I saved her. I'll save more if I can. The light around me flickered, then bowed. Silence filled the arena. Then, slowly, the crowd began to hum, a rising, resonant sound that built into thunderous approval. The Empress stepped forward, her expression unreadable. You faced your truth and did not falter. You have earned what few ever do, the blessing of the throne. Kilira rushed forward, eyes shining. You did it, she whispered, her hands trembling as they found mine. In that moment, surrounded by beings from another world, I realized something impossible. I wasn't just a stranger here anymore. I was part of their story. Ending. The human king of Ishra. Weeks passed. The Vreth grew accustomed to my presence. Some even respected me. Kilira and I stood often on the palace balcony, watching the twin suns set over the crystalline towers. You changed everything, she said one evening. I laughed softly. You give me too much credit. No, she said firmly. You showed my people that humanity isn't weakness. That compassion can wield more power than conquest. I turned to her, her silver hair catching the light. And what about you? The warrior princess who bound herself to a lost explorer? Her lips curved into a smile. Perhaps destiny favored me after all. The Empress herself later summoned me. You are not of our kind, she said, yet you carry the fire that built empires and the mercy that sustains them. My daughter chose well. Then, before the court of Ishra, she proclaimed, by the law of bonds and the test of truth, Eli Carter of Earth shall stand as future consort of the House of Tshara. The hall erupted in light. Kilira squeezed my hand, her eyes glimmering. You are no longer just human, she whispered. You are part of Ishra. As the twin suns rose again, painting the sky in gold and violet, I looked out over a world I never meant to find, a world that now called me its future king. And in that moment, I knew something with absolute certainty. Sometimes fate doesn't ask permission. Sometimes it simply decides, and all you can do is answer the call.